This is episode 19 of the Flaming Tarmac. As you can see in the middle, that's a clue. That's the subject we're going to be talking about today. Flaming Tarmac episode 19, Bottas to Alfa. We all knew it was coming. We knew it was either going to be this week or next week it was going to be announced. Mercedes couldn't really hide it anymore. Really couldn't hide it any longer. And in my opinion, it's a shame. Listen, I'm glad George Russell is going to Mercedes. I am glad. I have been a big advocate of George Russell from day one, and I am glad he's going to be in a Mercedes seat next year. I am glad. Being a British man, I am a British man. It'd be nice to see two British men in the best team in the world. Not in my opinion, fact. They have won 6 constructors in a row. Lewis Hamilton has won 6 world titles with Mercedes. They are the benchmark. But look, Red Bull might be on it now and challenging Mercedes, but Mercedes are still the benchmark. If you get a young driver that comes into Formula 1 and you ask them, who do you want to drive for? 99 point, you know what, forget the 99. 100% of the time, they will say Mercedes. Because Mercedes have got this reputation and they are the benchmark. If a close second will be Ferrari. I know Ferrari's not doing so good now, but that will be a close second. If you who you want to drive for, it'd be Mercedes first and second Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas. Look, he's been there a long time. He's helped Lewis win his world titles. He's helped him. He helped him in 17, 18, 19 and 20. And now, most likely, he's going to help him in 21, in my opinion. So that'll be 5 world titles on the bounce that Valtteri Bottas has assisted Lewis Hamilton. He's done the job. They told him in Russia in 2018, move over. He done the job. He's Rubens Barrichello for Mercedes. Rubens Barrichello was the wingman for Michael Schumacher, and Valtteri Bottas is the wingman for Lewis Hamilton. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, wingman, that's not really nice. Listen, everybody needs a wingman. Everybody needs a wingman. In certain sports out there, you need a wingman. You need someone to assist you. Sometimes you can't do it on your own. Lewis Hamilton can't win the world title on his own.
Nope.
Mercedes can't win the world title on their own. They need a wingman, and that wingman is Valtteri Bottas. And he has been the best wingman in Formula 1 history. That's even beating Rubens Barrichello.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
He's a great driver. He's a fast driver. And look, people are going to say he could have won the title years ago if it weren't for in-team politics. We know in Formula 1 there's in-team politics. We know this. You think when Barrichello went to Brawn, he knew he was going to win the title? That was always going to be Jenson Button. A British team, a British driver, Button's winning it first. Every time. Rubens Barrichello was at the end of his career, and he was just there to assist Button on winning the world title. And that's what Bottas was there. But in my opinion, Bottas, look, Lewis Hamilton's done it all. He's done it all in his sport. Statistically, he's the greatest of all time. Statistically, by numbers, facts, he's the greatest of all time by numbers. My favourite driver of all time, and the majority of the F1 community favourite driver of all time, is Ayrton Senna. But I'm on about by records and by stats. Lewis is the greatest of all time. More race wins, more poles, more front row lockouts, more wins at a single track. I think is equal to Senna. The only record he hasn't got is the Monaco record, where Senna won it 6 times, which will never be broken ever. I think it was 7 times actually. That's a record that will never be broken. But at the end of the day, Bottas has done his job. If they would have unleashed Bottas and said, look, you go out and drive, no in-team politics, go out and do your thing, I think Bottas would have had more of a chance to win the world title. Because as I see, yeah, look, Lewis Hamilton has been there a lot longer than Bottas. They favour Lewis Hamilton over Bottas. It's just facts. Listen, the only one that's really got a true love for Valtteri Bottas is Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff, deep down, he probably didn't want to even get rid of Bottas. He loved Bottas like a son. You can see the way they were like best friends. He loved Valtteri Bottas. And I think that hurt him getting rid of Valtteri Bottas. But at the end of the day, we're going to look to the future. It's the future. And they're not going to get rid of Lewis Hamilton. That ain't going to happen. They're not going to get rid of Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's there as long as he wants. After this 2-year contract, if Lewis Hamilton wants to make another 2-year contract up to his 40 years of age, they'll give it him. Long as he keeps performing, they'll give it him. Even if his level drops a couple of percentage, they'll still give it him. Even if Lewis Hamilton's on 90%, he's better than most of the guys on the grid. So they're going to keep giving him that. So all we're doing now is waiting for the announcement. Look, we know that George Russell's going there now. We know. He's the future of Mercedes, not Lewis. The future of Mercedes is George Russell. But, you know, Bottas leaving, we all knew it was coming, but now it's confirmed and now it's hitting home. There's been a lot of banners, pictures on the internet today, which I picked up a couple. I'll show you now. There's a couple of banners. You got that one there, Valtteri Bottas to Alfa Romeo. We got Valtteri Bottas joins Alfa Romeo in 2022. It's got nothing about his contract. His contract's supposed to be negotiated. He's probably negotiated. He was saying that he wanted something like, he wanted a long-term contract, not 1 year. He wants something like a 2 to 3 year contract, because he's never had a contract like that. We've got breaking news: Valtteri Bottas to depart team following the conclusion of the 2021 season. So this is all over the internet. This is something somebody drew today. That'll be the future there. Them two there, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. The master, which is Lewis Hamilton, and the learner, the student, which is George Russell. And that's another one. Valtteri Bottas, 9 wins, 17 poles. And yeah, that's Valtteri Bottas, 92 races for Mercedes. So yeah, that's the my opinion is they needed to do it. Sometimes you need to do something even though you don't want to do it. You know the time's coming. Like I said, they're not going to get rid of Lewis Hamilton. It's not going to happen. And Russell is the guy to come in and replace Valtteri Bottas. It all started, I think the process got speeded up more when they had that Bahrain race last season. When Lewis Hamilton was out with COVID, they brought George Russell in to replace Hamilton for that one race at the Bahrain Outer Rim. And the way George Russell destroyed Valtteri Bottas. Listen, he didn't win the race. But that wasn't his fault. That was because of the stupid strategy team put the wrong tyres on. We don't know if it was deliberate. We don't know if it was done by design. We don't know if it was a mistake. They said it was a mistake, but some people are saying, oh, they've done it on purpose because they didn't want to see Russell win the race to make Hamilton look stupid, which I think is bollocks. But after that race, they must have looked at the data. They went back to the factory, they saw the data, the way Russell was, and they thought, listen, the pressure probably started coming up Toto from all the investors and the guys the investors who invested in Mercedes, the guys in suits, the guys that you never see were behind the scenes, they must have put pressure on Mercedes to say, look, this guy has to come in. We've got a new car, new rules. This guy has to come in. And then you could see Toto did not want to let him go. I know Toto's the boss at Mercedes, but there's always someone higher than you. When you're in a company and you feel like you're the boss, there's always someone higher. And probably someone from higher wanted George Russell. Like I said, in team politics, something that we never see. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what goes on in Formula One. I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation. But I think after that Bahrain race last year in 2020, they saw George Russell, what he could do in a setup which wasn't even his setup. It was Lewis Hamilton's setup. And they saw that and they must have thought, you know what, this is the guy we're going to have. They was always going to have George Russell, but I think that just speeded up the process. That's just my opinion. So that's it. That's the end of the Flaming Tarmac. Hopefully everything works out good. Next season, you'll have George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Hopefully there's not another Rosberg and Hamilton when them two guys was battling. If you've never saw that battle between, if you're new to Formula One and you've never saw that battle between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, go on YouTube. I recommend go and see it. The Silver Arrows, the Silver War. Go and watch it. Hopefully the Mercedes don't end up like that when George Russell comes in and teams up with Lewis Hamilton, because the same thing happened at Ferrari when they brought in Charles Leclerc. He was the young guy coming in. They brought him in. Vettel was the veteran. And when they started to fall out, they favoured Charles Leclerc. They always favour the younger guy in F1. It doesn't matter who it is. They will always go with the younger guy. Especially if the younger guy is performing. You get an old guy performing, a young guy performing. They have an argument with each other. They keep knocking it to each other on the track. They're always going to favour the younger guy because they're the future. That's just the way it is. See you later, guys. And I'm sorry that the review, if you go on my YouTube channel now, the review will be going up yesterday for the race day review of the Dutch Grand Prix. So this is Solo P1 Sunday night. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.